Hello and welcome students. Now we are going to discuss about module 5 of energy and environmental engineering. Here we can see the contents which we have to discuss in this module. So the first topic is from unsustainable to sustainable development. We are discussing here its introduction, key aspects, parameters, principles and some measures related to this topic. Up to 20th century अधिकांश विकास योजनाओं ने एनवायरमेंटल फैक्टर को ध्यान में नहीं रखा। उन दिनों के दौरान सभी प्रोजेक्ट्स इकोनॉमी एंड सोशली इररिलेवेंट थे और एनवायरनमेंट को भी बहुत हार्म हुआ था। रैपिड इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन से एयर, वाटर एंड सॉइल के कंटामिनेशन लेवल को इंक्रीज कर दिया था। अनप्लान्ड डेवलपमेंट ने इनएडिक्वेट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, अनअवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ वाटर एंड अदर रिसोर्सेज जो ह्यूमन बींग्स के लिए जरूरी थे उनका भी ओवर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन किया। जीवन और ज्ञान के पारंपरिक तरीके, प्लांट्स और एनिमल की क्षति, बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस, डिफॉरेस्टेशन और क्लाइमेट चेंज के लिए जिम्मेदार रहे। 2050 तक हमारे प्लैनेट की आबादी लगभग 10 बिलियन होने की उम्मीद है। This increased population will demand more natural energy resources for their survival and development. So nowadays, sustainable development has become more popular catchphrase in contemporary development discourse. Human beings, social world and nature दोनों के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हैं। लाइफ स्टाइल एंड लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड्स के निरंतर इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट एंड स्टेबल एनवायरनमेंट दोनों की ही आवश्यकता होती है। और जो डेवलपमेंट अभी तक हुआ वह केवल ह्यूमन ओरिएंटेड था और रिच नेशंस तक ही लिमिटेड था, जिसने एनवायरनमेंट को नुकसान पहुंचाकर और नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज के ओवर एक्सप्लॉयटेशन से विकास हासिल किया था, जिसने एनवायरनमेंट को अनस्टेबल कर दिया। अनसस्टेनेबिलिटी का तात्पर्य किसी भी ऐसी चीज से है जिसे हम उसकी करंट रेट पर जारी नहीं रख सकते, और इस शब्द का प्रयोग इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस और उन वस्तुओं के लिए होता है जो एनवायरमेंटल डैमेज का कारण बनती है। टू सस्टेन something means to be able to continue it or maintain it for a decent period. Unsustainable development compromises the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Unsustainable development including global warming, destruction of ozone shield, acidification of land and water, desertification and soil loss, deforestation and forest declination, diminishing productivity of land and waters, extinction of species and populations, demonstrate that human demand is exceeding environmental support capacities. Population growth increases poverty and deprived people are forced to undermine the productivity of the land on which they live. It is extremely difficult for people or other species to adjust to change at this rate. Now, introduction. Why sustainable development? In order to provide basic needs for the masses, the government go ahead with urgent development plans without impact of such activities on the environment, society and culture. सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट का प्रारंभिक ऑब्जेक्टिव है आर्थिक कल्याण करना, उचित और समान रूप से हर ह्यूमन बीइंग के लिए रिसोर्सेज उपलब्ध कराना और इन बुनियादी जरूरतों को पूरा करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट द्वारा तत्काल विकास योजनाओं के साथ आगे बढ़ना है जो एनवायरनमेंट, सोसाइटी एंड कल्चर पर किसी भी तरीके का नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट न डाले. Sustainable development strategies addresses the issues of how do we have to change the structure and processes of systems we live in to produce more of what we want and less of that which is undesirable to increase our quality of life. World Commission on Environment and Development or Brundtland Commission 1987 says, sustainable development is the kind of development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Key aspects of sustainable development, यानी कि सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के कुछ मुख्य पहलू हैं. फर्स्ट इज इंटरजेनरेशनल इक्विटी. इट इंक्लूड्स stop overuse, reduce impacts, maintain ecological balance, hand over a safe, healthy and resourceful environment to our future generations. Now, intra-generational equity. It includes minimize gap between and within nations, support economic growth of poorer countries, provide technological help, Now, parameters of sustainable development. First parameter is environmental sustainability. It includes conservation of biodiversity, increase in forest cover, watershed protection, and adoption of holistic approach and reduction of environmental threats, environmental population by using environment friendly clean and green technologies to mitigate local to global level environmental problems. Second parameter is economic sustainability. It includes self-sustenance through some measures like adequate budgeting, budget transparency, and financial incentives. The focus area of this parameter is decrease of poverty. And some other parameters are increase in per capita income, promotion of income generating activities. Now, last and third parameter of sustainable development is social sustainability. It includes active participation of human being in development activities, improvement in public health, education and basic needs for all, upgradation in public environmental awareness, enhancement of gender equity, and self-confidence among local community. Now, principles of sustainable development. First is integration of environmental and economic decisions. It includes the following areas. First is policy decisions for the highest good of all. Means सभी के लिए नीतिगत निर्णय होना. Second, decision making process for the highest good of all. सभी के लिए नीतिगत प्रक्रियाएं. Third is creating cooperative and ethical partnership. Means सहकारी और नैतिक साझेदारी का निर्माण. Second principle of sustainable development is stewardship, यानी कि नेतृत्व. नेचुरल रिसोर्स के कंजर्वेशन के लिए केयरफुल एंड रेस्पॉन्सिबल मैनेजमेंट का होना बहुत जरूरी है. थर्ड प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट इज शेयर्ड रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग. It specifies the involvement of entire cross-section of the population. The importance of sustainable development must be clearly communicated to each and every member of the society through education, discussion and other means. यानी कि shared responsibility and understanding ये स्पेसिफाई करता है कि संपूर्ण पॉपुलेशन को के इन्वॉल्वमेंट को निर्दिष्ट करना है कि सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के लिए एजुकेशन, डिस्कशन ये माध्यम है जिनके द्वारा सोसाइटी के हर मेंबर को सूचित किया जाना चाहिए. फोर्थ प्रिंसिपल इज प्रिवेंशन, कंजर्वेशन एंड एनहेंसमेंट. The prevention, conservation and enhancement of biodiversity, forest and natural resources for the future, and enhancement of and the use of renewable resources in the present stage by using FEARS approach are well-defined efforts for sustainable development. लास्ट प्रिंसिपल है प्रिवेंशन, कंजर्वेशन एंड एनहेंसमेंट. बायोडाइवर्सिटी, फॉरेस्ट एंड नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज को फ्यूचर के लिए कंजर्व करना, रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी रिसोर्स के यूज को बढ़ावा देना और 3Rs मीन्स रिड्यूस, रीयूज एंड रिसाइकल द्वारा सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट करना ही इसका मुख्य उद्देश्य है. Now measures for sustainable development. Using appropriate technology. 3Rs approach, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. Next, promoting environmental awareness and education. Next is resource utilization as per carrying capacity. Improving quality of life, including social, cultural, and economic dimensions. Now, we are discussing here social issues related to environment. Now, the topic is urban problems related to energy. Energy use is closely related to development in industry, transport, communication, commercial, household, and agricultural activities. The energy requirement of urban population is much higher than that of rural ones. This is because urban people have a higher standard of life and their lifestyle demands more energy inputs in every sphere of life. In urban areas, the need of energy is increasingly by leaps and bounds. Moreover, countries use energy in an uneven manner in the world. The developed countries, the amount of energy used is much more compared to developing countries. We will cover introduction, energy demanding activities, and effects of this topic. So, introduction. Urbanization is a global phenomenon in the developed countries of the world. In developing countries, urban growth is very fast. In most of the cases, it is uncontrollable and unplanned growth. In contrast to the rural setup, the urban setup is densely populated, consumes a lot of energy and materials, and generates a lot of waste. Energy requirement of urban population are much higher than that of rural ones because urban people have higher standard of life and their lifestyle demand more energy inputs in every sphere of life. Due to high population density and high energy demanding activities, the urban problem and related to energy are much more magnified as compared to rural population. Now the energy demanding activities, residential and commercial lighting, transportation means including automobiles and public transport for moving from residency to workplace, modern lifestyle using large number of electrical gadgets in everyday life, industrial plants using a big proportion of energy, a large amount of waste generation which has to be disposed properly using energy-based techniques, control and prevention air and water pollution which needs energy-dependent technologies. Now effects. Unequal distribution of energy, power cuts and load shedding, demand energy from other states, overall society suffers, economic development hampered. Next topic is water conservation. Water is the most important natural resource that living things need. Over the years, rising population, growing industrialization, and expanding agriculture have pushed up the demand for water. Water conservation has become the need of the day. It is the practice of careful use and preservation of water supply efficiently to reduce unnecessary water usage. It includes both the quantity and the quality of water utilized. Here I want to discuss some key facts about our water. The average adult human body is composed of 50 to 65% of water, averaging around 57 to 60%. With infants, they have a higher percentage, often around 75 to 78% of water, dropping to 65% by 1 year of age. The earth has a limited amount of water. The water we have now is all we get. It is recycled over and over. The water cycle can help you understand this condition. Water is the basic demand for every food, It grows our fruits and vegetables, and it is consumed by each livestock. Plants' life is dependent on water. Plants help the ecosystem and produce oxygen that is necessary to keep us healthy. Additionally, trees are generally used for housing, paper, and a lot more. 97% of all water on earth is salt water. That is not suitable for drinking. Only 3% of water in earth is fresh water. Only 0.5% is suitable for drinking. The other 2.5% of fresh water is found in glaciers, ice caps, and atmosphere, soil, or under the earth's surface, or is too polluted for consumption. So the water is life, take care of it. In this topic, we will cover introduction, goals, key activities, and benefits of water conservation. International World Water Day is held annually on 22nd of March as a means of focusing attention on the importance of fresh water and advocating for the sustainable management of freshwater resources. Now the introduction of water conservation. It includes all the policies, strategies, and activities to sustainably manage the natural resource of fresh water, to protect the hydrosphere, and to meet the current and future human demand. Population, household size, and growth, affluence all affect how much water is used. वाटर कंजर्वेशन का सिंपल सा जो मीनिंग है वो है हाइड्रोस्फीयर को प्रोटेक्ट करना. नाउ द गोल्स ऑफ वाटर कंजर्वेशन. सस्टेनेबिलिटी. फ्यूचर जनरेशन के लिए वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी को इंश्योर करना वाटर सस्टेनेबिलिटी के कहलाता है. और हम जिस दर से वाटर को यूज कर रहे हैं या वेस्ट कर रहे हैं वो नेचुरल रिप्लेसमेंट रेट से बहुत कम है. एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन, वाटर पंपिंग, डिलीवरी एंड वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट फैसिलिटीज कंज्यूम a significant amount of energy. In some regions of the world, over 15% of total electricity consumption is devoted to water management. वाटर पंपिंग, वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट फैसिलिटीज में ऊर्जा की एक महत्वपूर्ण मात्रा का उपभोग होता है. कुछ रीजन्स में वर्ल्ड का 15% टोटल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कंजम्पशन वाटर मैनेजमेंट में डिवोटेड किया जाता है. थर्ड इज हैबिटेट कंजर्वेशन. अगर मानव पानी का अति उपयोग कम कर दे तो वाटरफॉल यानी कि जल पक्षी के माइग्रेशन को रोका जा सकता है और लोकल वाइल्ड लाइफ के हैबिटेट को प्रिजर्व किया जा सकता है. साथ ही न्यू डैम्स और अदर वाटर डाइवर्जन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के निर्माण की आवश्यकता भी नहीं होगी. Now, key activities of water conservation. Any beneficial reduction in water loss, use, and waste of resources, avoiding any damage to water quality. improvement in water management practices, protecting groundwater resource and its contamination, communication and education outreach of different water programs, decreasing runoff losses, reducing evaporation losses, and storing water in soil. Let's watch a video on water saving methods. Next topic is rainwater harvesting. In general, water harvesting is the activity of direct collection of rainwater. The rainwater collected can be stored or direct use or can be recharged into the groundwater. Rain is the first form of water that we know in the hydrological cycle. Hence, is a primary source of water for us. Rivers, lakes, and groundwater are all secondary sources of water. In present time, we depend entirely on such secondary sources of water. In the process, it is forgotten that rain is the ultimate source that feeds all these secondary sources and remain ignorant of its value. Water harvesting means to understand the value of rain and to make optimum use of rainwater at the place where it falls. Let's watch a video on rainwater harvesting. Next topic is watershed management. Watershed is a hydrological unit जो एक ड्रेन्स के सिस्टम के द्वारा एक कॉमन पॉइंट तक जाती है. As we all know, all land-based productive activities निर्भर करती हैं उस जगह की टोपोग्राफी पर, सॉइल के प्रकार पर, बायोमास अवेलेबिलिटी पर और मेजरली वाटर रिसोर्स पर, जिसके लिए हमें एक इंटीग्रेटेड मैनेजमेंट अप्रोच को अपनाना पड़ता है और नेचुरल डोमेन में ही हम वाटर को कंजर्व करके अपनी लैंड बेस्ड प्रोडक्टिव एक्टिविटीज को बढ़ा सकते हैं. नेचुरल डोमेन में वाटर को कंजर्व करना ही वाटरशेड कहलाता है. दिस वाटरशेड इज एन इंट्रिकेट, डायनामिक एंड नेचुरल फंक्शनल यूनिट. It enables physical and social communication and their actions. Means to say that every body of water like rivers, lakes, ponds, streams and estuaries has a watershed. Watershed is an area of land that drains or shades water into a specific receiving water body. As rainwater or melted snow runs downhill in the watershed, it collects and transports sediments and other materials and deposits them into the receiving water body. Watershed management का मतलब है उन लैंड यूज और वाटर मैनेजमेंट प्रैक्टिसेस का जो वाटर और अन्य नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज की गुणवत्ता, रक्षा और सुधार के लिए लागू किया जाता है. ऐसी गतिविधियां होती हैं वाटरशेड मैनेजमेंट के अंतर्गत जिनमें हम वाटर की प्रॉपर्टी को, उसके प्रोटेक्शन को सुधारने के लिए एक्टिविटीज को हम फॉलो करते हैं. इस टॉपिक में हम वाटरशेड मैनेजमेंट का इंट्रोडक्शन, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, कॉजेज और उसके एडवांटेजेस का डिस्कशन करेंगे. यहाँ हम देख सकते हैं कि वाटरशेड कैसे बनता है. Introduction of watershed management. Watershed development refers to the conservation, regeneration, and the judicious use of all the natural resources, particularly land, water, vegetation, animals, and human development within the watershed. In the watershed, hydrological conditions interacts with soil, landform, vegetation, land use activities. People and animals are an integral part of a watershed having mutual impacts on each other. A watershed affects food production, water supply for irrigation, power generation, transportation, sedimentation, erosion, vegetation growth, floods and drought. Objectives of watershed management: to conserve soil and water, to protect, conserve and improve the land resources for efficient and sustained production. To protect and enhance water resources, moderating floods, reducing silting up of tanks, increasing irrigation and conserving rainwater for crops and thus mitigating droughts. To develop rural areas in the region with the clear plans for improving the economy of the region. To utilize the natural local resources for improving agriculture and allied occupation of industries so as to improve socio-economic conditions of local residents.
to check soil erosion and reduce the effect of sediment yield on the watershed. To manage the watershed for beneficial development activities like domestic water supply, irrigation, hydropower generation, etc. Causes of watershed degradation. Watershed degraded due to uncontrolled, unplanned and unscientific land use activities like overgrazing, deforestation, mining, construction activities, industrialization, shifting cultivation, natural and artificial fires, soil erosion and ignorance of local people. These are responsible for the degradation of various watersheds. Advantages of watershed management. Soil loss becomes nil. No surface runoff. Barren area gets permanent biomass cover and soil is protected. Good soil moisture and good groundwater available in the wells and tanks. Clean water availability for drinking. Evaporation losses are negligible as compared to tanks and dams. Stops migration to cities in search of livelihood. Resettlement and rehabilitation of people is a type of displacement of people. Displacement of people in India is largely triggered by factors like development projects, political conflicts, setting up protected and conservation areas, and natural disasters. The International Displacement Monitoring Center in 2007 revealed that about 50 million people in India had been displaced due to development projects in over 50 years. Now the term resettlement. Population transfer or resettlement is the movement of a large group of people from one region to another, often a form of forced migration imposed by state policy or international authority, and most frequently on the basis of ethnicity or religion. What is rehabilitation? It is the restoration of someone to a useful place in society, the conversion of wasteland into land suitable for use of habitation or cultivation. The act of restoring someone to a satisfactory state is the state of being restored to its former good condition. Now the reasons for displacement of people. Natural disasters, man-made disasters, in search of better employment opportunities, development projects like construction of dams, infrastructural projects like flyovers, transportation activities like roads, highways, canals, development, energy-related projects like power plants, and agricultural projects. Projects related with the conservation of wildlife. What are the issues related to resettlement and rehabilitation? Tribally are using the most affected among us the displacement that are already poor. Displacement further increases their poverty due to loss of land, home, jobs, food insecurity, loss of access to common property assets. Breakup to families is an important social issue arising due to the displacement in which the women are the worst affected, and they are not even give cash land compensation. Tribals are not familiar with the market policies and trends. Even if they get cash compensation, they get alienated in the modern economic steps. Kinship system, marriages, social and cultural function, their folk songs, dances and their activities vanish with their displacement, even when they are resettled. It is individual-based resettlement which totally ignores communal settlement. The age-long indigenous knowledge which has been inhabited and experienced by them about flora, fauna, their uses, etc. get lost. Now we are discussing here 3 case studies of displacement due to development of India. First is Sardar Sarovar Dam. Second is Indira Sagar Pariyojana. Third is Simhadri Thermal Power Projects. These projects displaced many of the people with their families,